Welcome. So many men I speak to, men over 50, 60, and beyond, feel like their body is starting to let them down. They feel a loss of vitality, a dip in energy, and a frustrating decline in performance and sensitivity that makes them feel older than they are. They feel that life has become muted, monotonous, perhaps even disappointing. If this sounds familiar, I want you to hear this loud and clear. It is not your fault, and you are not alone. This is a common biological process. But the most important part of that process is that it is reversible. There is a natural secret to restoring that youthful vigor, a secret that the pharmaceutical industry, which profits from pills and temporary fixes, would prefer you didn't know. They want to treat the symptom. We are here today to fix the cause. The answer doesn't lie in a prescription bottle. It lies in your blood vessels. It lies in a remarkable, natural molecule that your own body is designed to produce. We are talking about nitric oxide. If you remember nothing else from this guide, remember those two words. Nitric oxide is the master key to male vitality. It is a vasodilator, which is a scientific term for a simple, powerful action. It tells your blood vessels to relax, to widen, and to allow blood to flow freely. When you have abundant nitric oxide, your circulation improves everywhere. Your brain gets more oxygen, so you feel sharper. Your muscles get more nutrients, so you have more stamina. And, most importantly, the delicate blood vessels in your pelvic region can receive the powerful surge of blood flow required for firm, sustainable, and sensitive performance. As we age, our natural production of nitric oxide declines. This is the root cause of the problem. But today, we are giving you the map to turn that production back on. We will do it not with chemicals, but with simple, powerful foods and habits. Let's begin with the single most powerful food for this purpose, the humble beetroot. You may know it as a salad ingredient, but I want you to see it as a natural powerhouse. Beets are packed with natural compounds called nitrates. When you eat a beet or drink its juice, your body begins a beautiful, natural process. Your saliva converts those nitrates into phytrates, and then your stomach and body convert those nitrites directly into pure nitric oxide. It is a direct biological pathway to increasing the most important molecule for blood flow. In fact, the mechanism is remarkably similar to the famous little blue pill. That pill works by preserving the nitric oxide you already have. But beets help you create more of it from scratch, naturally and safely. It's not a temporary fix. It's a way of rebuilding your body's own system. Now, I know what some of you may be thinking. But guide, what about the sugar in beets? I am watching my blood sugar. Or, I am diabetic. That is a perfectly valid and important question. The sugar in whole beets is bound up with fiber, which slows its release. For most people, in moderation, the benefits to your circulation far outweigh the risk. If you are still concerned, you can find high-quality beetroot powder, which gives you all the nitrate benefits without the bulk of the sugar. You can add a scoop to your morning water or a smoothie. But beets are not the only way. Our next ally is a favorite summer fruit, watermelon. Watermelon is incredibly rich in an amino acid called L-citrulline, and here is where the insider's secret comes in, the part most people throw away. The highest concentration of this powerful L-citrulline isn't in the sweet, red flesh. It's in the white rind. So when you eat watermelon, I encourage you to eat a little bit of that white part near the green skin. It may not be as sweet, but it is packed with the raw material for vitality. Your body takes this L-citrulline and, in a beautiful piece of biological alchemy, converts it into another amino acid, L-arginine. And what does L-arginine do? You guessed it. It is a direct precursor to nitric oxide. It is yet another pathway to fueling that same essential molecule. So, we have beets and watermelon helping us create nitric oxide. Now we need to talk. about the building blocks of your entire hormonal system. Because circulation is one half of the equation, the other half is desire, energy, and drive. We are talking about testosterone. Testosterone is what makes you feel like you. It provides mental focus, energy, and the drive to compete and succeed. And as we age, just like nitric oxide, our levels can decline. One of the most common reasons is that we stop giving our body the raw materials it needs. Your body does not make testosterone out of thin air. It makes it from one essential to life building block, healthy fat. This is where our next food comes in. Walnuts. Walnuts are a true superfood for men over 50. First, they are also a fantastic source of L-arginine, so they support our nitric oxide pathway. But more importantly, they are packed with the high-quality, monounsaturated and polyunsaturated fats that your body requires to produce testosterone. If you are on an extreme low-fat diet, you may be starving your body of the very nutrients it needs to maintain your hormonal balance. A handful of walnuts, or even almonds, is a signal to your body that it has the resources it needs to function like a man. Now, I can hear the objections. But guide, my teeth aren't what they used to be. I can't be chewing on hard walnuts all day. This is a common concern, and the solution is simple. You don't have to chew them whole. You can use almond butter or peanut butter. You can buy crushed walnuts and sprinkle them over oatmeal or yogurt. The goal is to get the healthy fats and the L-arginine into your system. The form doesn't matter as much as the function. While we're on the subject of healthy fats and objections, let's talk about dark chocolate. Yes, chocolate. Specifically, dark chocolate with at least 70% cacao or higher. We are not talking about a sugary milk chocolate bar. We are talking about the deep, rich, slightly bitter dark chocolate. Cacao is loaded with compounds called flavonoids. These are powerful antioxidants that serve two purposes. First, they help protect the lining of your blood vessels from damage, making them more responsive. Second, they have been shown to directly increase your body's production of nitric oxide. For those of you managing diabetes, the key is the percentage. A small square of 70, 80, or even 90% dark chocolate has very little sugar, but all the flavonols you need. It is a treat that is also a treatment. So now we have a plate full of powerful foods: beets, watermelon, walnuts, and dark chocolate. But I must be honest with you. You can eat all of these foods every single day and still see no results if you are sabotaging your body with a few key villains. You cannot drive a car with the emergency brake on. We must talk about what to remove. The number one absolute worst villain for male vitality and nitric oxide is smoking. There is no way to be delicate about this. Every single puff of a cigarette is like a poison dart to your blood vessels. It causes them to constrict, to tighten, and to become damaged. It is the exact chemical opposite of everything we are trying to achieve. If you do only one thing for your health, please make it a plan to quit. The next villains are processed sugar and fried trans fats. These foods create a state of chronic inflammation in your body. Inflammation is like a fire in your blood vessels. It makes them stiff, damaged, and unable to produce the nitric oxide you need. Swapping a sugary soda for water or fried foods for baked or steamed options is a profound act of self-care. But there is one villain that is silent and just as deadly to your vitality. That villain is chronic stress. When you are stressed, your body floods with a hormone called cortisol. Cortisol is your fight or flight hormone. It was designed to save you from a tiger, not to deal with 24-hour news cycles and traffic jams. Here is the critical fact. Cortisol and testosterone have an inverse relationship. They cannot both be high at the same time. When cortisol is high, your body stops producing testosterone. It's a biological seesaw. You simply cannot have high stress and high vitality. This is why a habit of distressing is not a luxury. It is a medical necessity. Whether it's a 10-minute walk in nature, sitting in silence, listening to music, or practicing deep breathing. You must find a way to lower your cortisol. This brings us to our foundation, the habits that support everything else. First, hydration. Your blood is over 90% water. If you are dehydrated, your blood volume drops, and your circulation becomes sluggish, no matter how much nitric oxide you have. You must drink water. Second, movement. You don't have to run a marathon. A simple 30-minute walk does wonders. Exercise is the pump that forces your blood through your vessels and signals to your body, "I need more nitric oxide." Start production. And finally, the most underrated habit of all, sleep. We live in a culture that brags about being busy, but sleep is not negotiable. Your body produces the vast majority of its testosterone for the day during the deep REM cycles of sleep. If you are only sleeping 4 or 5 hours a night, you are robbing your body of its ability to recharge, repair, and produce the very hormones that make you feel alive. It is all connected. It is not one food or one pill. It is a system of nourishing your body with what it needs and protecting it from what tears it down. As your wellness guide, my goal is not to give you a temporary fix. It is to hand you the map for long-term, sustainable vitality. You have the power to rebuild this system. It is not too late. The decline you've been feeling is not a life sentence. It is a signal from your body that it needs new instructions. And today, you have received them. So start simple. You don't have to do it all at once. This week, maybe you'll add a handful of walnuts to your routine. Maybe you'll swap one sugary drink for a glass of water. Or maybe you'll try a beetroot smoothie. Pick one thing. Start there, because the power is not in the knowledge, but in the habit. You have the map. It's time to take the first step.